Hey everybody, in case you didn't know, we've moved all of our non-kill count content over to another channel. The channel you're watching right now, that's been here since 2017, will only post kill counts from now on. If you want to catch anything else that we do, it's over at Dead Meat Presents, our new channel that you should subscribe to right now. And by anything else, I mean everything else. The Dead Meat Podcast will be posted there every other Wednesday. Every Monday morning, we do a horror news and channel updates live stream. Every year will be the Dead Meat Horror Awards, every January, the Horror Royal Rumble, and all other videos that don't have regular releases.
I like the Dead Meat Award.
Favorite scary movie,
that gets me hyped.
Other interview videos, Zorn's They Talk series, all the super cuts, all the event videos, any cut comparisons, any gaming live streams or cut downs of those, and any other random video that we feel like doing. And
we need more cut comparisons, actually. I like cut comparisons.
But yeah, if you want any other thing that we do, make sure you subscribe to Dead Meat Presents. Otherwise, you can keep tuning into this channel every Friday for the kill count. Speaking of which, welcome to the kill count!
Okay, man. Right on. I haven't seen this intro back. Play that back.
Every Friday for the kill count. Speaking of which...
Oh, geez. It's kind of loud, though. Jeez.
Welcome to the kill count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm sorry. And show you how they were made. I'm James H. and today we're looking at The Terminator, released in 1984. The Terminator is an action sci-fi thriller whose titular killer robot became an icon.
One thing about this movie, what I was going to say before we even started and you spooked me, I actually watched this recently. Both of them. The first two. The best ones. And I had such a weird thing with this movie in particular. I thought the eye scene was in the second movie. Like, every part that I like from this movie, which, to be honest, compared to the second one, is not a lot. Like, it's a good movie. There's just so many things better than the second one. But, like, everything I liked from this movie, it seems my brain just put into the second one. Because when I was watching this, I was like, I thought that was in the other one. And then when I watched the other one, I was like, right, well, I don't know nothing.
Of the 80s. Nowadays, it's a $3 billion property that includes books, comic books, video games, a TV series that starred Lena Headey, and 5
arcade games
released cinematic sequels.
Arcade games too.
Continuity of which gets pretty messy, to say the least. But this multimedia franchise had humble beginnings. It was made for about $6 million by an inexperienced, unknown filmmaker. James Cameron was only 29 when he wrote and directed The Terminator, kicking off a hugely successful career that includes Avatar, the highest-grossing movie.
His most profitable movie, not his best movie in my opinion. Like script, design-wise. I mean, I don't know. I don't get it. I'll be honest. I don't get the Avatar hype. But James Cameron hype, I understand. Like this for his earliest projects is wild.
Was only 29 when he wrote and directed The Terminator, kicking off a hugely successful career that includes Avatar, the highest-grossing movie of all time, and the Avatar sequel and Titanic, which come in at numbers 3 and 4. While the Terminator sequels are big blockbuster action fare,
which I think is actually technically beaten out. I think if we go by inflation, I think technically, I heard somewhere that Gone with the Wind would blow out a lot of these movies, if I'm not wrong. By like a good million, maybe. Could be wrong. But also, his run with his start of directing career almost reminds me of like Steven Spielberg. Like the way they went off was kind of crazy. I guess Martin Scorsese too. Like they had like 1 or 2 movies, and then they really kicked into their directing like ideology.
Kicking off a hugely successful career that includes Avatar, the highest-grossing movie of all time, and the Avatar sequel and Titanic, which come in at numbers 3 and 4. While the Terminator sequels are big blockbuster
top 5, and he has 3.
The original film is much more horror-adjacent.
Crazy.
Dark and brooding, with our heroes on the run from an unstoppable killing machine. In fact, Cameron idolized John Carpenter and had slashers in mind when he wrote the script. The Terminator has just as much in common with Michael Myers as he does with other influences, like Roy Blatty from Blade Runner and Yul Brynner from Westworld. The Terminator is played by a 37-year-old Arnold Schwarzenegger in a career-making performance. Prior to this, he had been a bodybuilder and Conan the Barbarian, but after this, he was a
Conan's a classic
star with a huge career in the 80s and 90s.
Conan is a classic.
Action movies and family-friendly comedies. Then in 2003, he was elected Governor of California. Heck of a life this guy's had. Schwarzenegger plays opposite Linda Hamilton and Michael Biehn, who both bring a lot to their roles. Hamilton gives Sarah Connor a girder of strength beneath the relatable, fun-loving young woman she's starts the film as. And Bean plays the smart, sensitive hero expertly, which is probably why Cameron cast him as Corporal Hicks in Aliens a couple years later. While some of the effects are showing their age, the Terminator is a classic with awesome action sequences and
True.
jarring kills. How
True.
many? Well, I'll be happy to tell you when...
The gore was
So young
shocking.
back then.
The gore was shocking, I remember.
it like it was yesterday.
I was like, what
They
the?
started so normal. The kill count, cameras rolling, the backlights glow. I've
Why?
been haunted.
Why does Billy have the cholo stash? What is going on there? What the fuck?
Cameras rolling, the backlights glow.
That looks like a
But I've
cholo
been
stash.
haunted.
It's so
Inflation was
long.
rising. It
Like
felt like
longo.
just walking out the door cost $50. I was on the verge of giving up. Then everything changed when I met
Zorn.
It was love at first
No.
sponsorship. They introduced me to a world I'd never known. The world of the free Upside app, which I could
Upside.
use to save money on daily essentials at over 100,000 gas stations, grocery
Very
stores,
cool,
and
wise man.
restaurants. Oh,
Very
we
cool.
had a whirlwind affair. They showed me that all I had to do was claim an offer for whatever I'm buying on the app, then use my credit or debit card as usual. They dazzled me with Upside's real cash back. No confusing rewards, points, or credits. Then, just as fast as they entered my life, I lost them. But I still remember them every time I use Upside to earn 3 times more cash back compared to other products. And I'll always keep them with me. You don't need a lost love to start earning. Top Upside earners are making as much as $300 a month.
Right
To
on.
find out how much you could earn, click the link in the description to download Upside and use code DEADMEAT to get an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas. Or scan the
25
QR
cents?
code here to claim this offer.
For every
Will this
gallon?
chrome killer destroy all humans?
I mean-
or is he just Dorothy's Tin Man in a cool leather jacket?
Kinda
Let's
looks
find out
okay.
and get to the kills.
Oh yeah, my favorite part.
The movie begins with awesome miniatures doing awesome shit. Blow that skull up, Robo-Mofo! And a soldier too, sure, yeah. Let's start counting right off the bat. It's 2029. These motherfucking robots have taken over the motherfucking world. They've spent decades hunting down the last surviving humans after a nuclear war. And now they're sending a weapon to the past. A weapon named Arnold Schwarzenegger, playing the part of title card. The
Nah.
opening credits let us enjoy Brad Fidel.
I think this is crazy. When I saw this reminded me like how big Arnold Schwarzenegger was. Like, the fact his name was popped up before the Terminator. I don't know, maybe it's not that big of a deal, but to me when I saw it, I was like, yeah, Arnold was like massive. Like, his name alone comes before the title of the movie. Like, it just makes sense.
Schwarzenegger, playing the part of title card.
That's crazy.
The opening credits let us enjoy Brad Fidel's score, which has a
And then
percussive
everybody else
mechanical
came
heartbeat
afterwards.
similar to the title character. Sounds like it's being banged out from an air vent. I freaking love it. The classic main theme, in its irregular 13/16 time signature, also feels like it was made by a machine. But it wasn't. It was made by a dude in his garage.
It was a cool garage.
The only part of the score I don't like are
Right
the
on.
loopy globs that happen during some of the chase scenes later. We're back in the present of 1984 in Los Angeles.
I kinda like
Lightning
those.
portends the arrival.
To be honest, I kind of like those personally, but not for the reason that they should be there. I just like that noise because of like old Fulci and like I Drink Your Blood type From Beyond. Like just a bunch of old movies. Tenenbaum from Tenerabe from Argento. Like I don't know, something about those like I like those.
Before in Los Angeles, where lightning portends the
They're
arrival
good for
of a
horror.
naked-ass Austrian. He
Good for
unfurls
horror.
himself into the absolute specimen that is Arnold Schwarzenegger. Look at those lats, those delts, those glutes. Arrgh. This butt-naked buff
Jesus,
boy is
chill
the titular
out.
Terminator, specifically the T-800 model. He comes across a trio of punks hanging outside Griffith Observatory, and shockingly, they refrain from making any Uranus jokes. T-Man asks for a favor.
Your clothes. Give them to me. Now.
The goons don't appreciate his tone, but he don't appreciate their
Wait, he's got a
knives.
tire on
Tosses
his
the leader
face.
into a nearby gate.
He's got like a
He then
tire
turns to
tattoo.
another one
The
and
hell?
punches straight through the guy's torso.
I don't even
Bam!
remember
The
that.
last man standing strips
Oh.
down, presumably sparing him from termination. The perforated punk is played by Brian Thompson, last seen on the kill count as Shao Kahn in Mortal Kombat
Shao
Annihilation.
Kahn.
His blue-haired buddy is the late Bill Paxton, a two-time kill count vet whose gate crashing honestly doesn't feel that lethal, but most people count it as a kill. It's probably so Paxton can keep his record as the only actor killed by a Terminator, a Predator, and a Xenomorph. The last one in
Damn.
Aliens, which was Cameron's
What a
next film.
what a
2
resume.
years later. The Terminator is the first real James Cameron film. He had directed Piranha 2: The Spawning a few years earlier, but says he was fired from that job and even disowned it for a while. Cameron came up through
okay.
the Roger Corman School of Filmmaking, which meant making movies cheap and by any means necessary.
I was of that ethos that if my hands weren't filthy by the end of the day, I wasn't directing a movie.
After seeing Cameron's 1978 short
True.
Xenogenesis, Corman hired him as crew for a few low-budget sci-fi films.
Wait.
That's how Cameron met.
So you're telling me if truly Piranha 2 is like his miscarriage, crazy, well, fitting but crazy word to use in the scenario, of his first movie, this means this is like his true first movie then. So it's straight off bat Terminator with Arnold Schwarzenegger, a massive name, and damn. I mean, you know, he's putting in that work though. Fit.
Future wife and Terminator producer Gail Ann Hurd.
So he's
I,
even
of course, assumed
he's
he
actually
was a
even
model,
different.
he was just a
Oh, whoa,
model
whoa,
builder.
whoa, whoa, whoa! What the hell just happened? He's even different than like Spielberg or Scorsese, especially thinking about it. Shit.
I, of course, assumed he was the head of the model shop. It turned out
Crazy.
he was just a model builder, but he acted like he was the head of the model shop. He had that kind of authority.
Cameron was poor as hell when he wrote The Terminator, even sleeping in his car for a little while.
My mom was sending me coupons in the
Jeez.
mail that allowed me to buy 2 Big Macs for the price of 1 so that I could survive.
He sold the script to Hurd for
It's a good
single
coupon.
dollar in exchange for a guarantee.
No, they don't make 'em
to
like
direct.
that.
That was a problem.
They
for
don't
a
make
while
coupons
since he
like
was
that
so
no more.
inexperienced, but he gradually won people over with his vision for the film.
Suddenly I went from a guy who was sitting on a high horse to a guy who really wanted to work on this film.
You know, instead of being like, well, let's see, I'm going, oh, please, please, I hope you're gonna hire me for this movie.
Across town, another naked time traveler touches
Right on.
down. He's in good shape, but you never want to be the guy showing up naked after Arnold. Unless you're like, maybe Bobby Lashley. Some cops see the guy pants nadding.
Bobby
Becomes the #1
Lashley.
pants felon. All units on high
WWE.
alert. Pants man. Pants man. Rolling around in those pants, man. He manages to evade them thanks in part to a Texas switch, the filming technique where a shot starts with a stunt performer who then hides behind something so the real actor can emerge. We learned about this from its extensive
Classic.
use in the opening of Orphan First Kill. This guy ain't another Terminator. He's Kyle Reese, a soldier on the human side of the future war. He and the
Still
Terminator
haven't
are
seen
both
that.
looking for Sarah Connor. The only problem is there are 3 of them in this town. The one we care about has a Honda scooter. Look at her, driving
Fire.
that thing around with it looking like an old Hewlett Packard on wheels. Sarah's a
Thing
college
looks
student
fire.
who works at a local
Oh,
diner.
yeah, as soon as I saw that, I was just waiting for her to pop out the brick phone. That thing is crazy looking.
Has a Honda scooter. Look at her, driving that thing around with it looking like an old Hewlett Packard
so
on
boxy.
wheels. Sarah's a college student who works at a local diner named Big Jeff's. The only dangers she's used to are the perils of food service. Yep, that's me. Bet you're wondering how I wound up with a pocket full of ice cream. So she's not a huge threat, but that doesn't stop T-Man from arming up to kill an elephant. He's buying guns from the late Dick Miller, a 4-time kill count veteran who's
The Gremlin Man.
caps off the extended dead
You
meat
dead meat.
intro.
Dead meat.
Yeah,
Besides him, he's the same guy who
The
arms the cops
man.
at Crystal Lake.
You put the red dot where you want the bullet to go.
Wherever the red dot goes, you bang.
He's happy to sell a full arsenal, but doesn't like the Terminator's lack of safe handling.
You can't do that.
Wrong.
That Dick gets blown apart by one of Dick's guns. T-Man's a dick, blown up Dick like that. Arnold was originally supposed to read for Kyle Reese, but found himself more drawn to the Terminator, even though the character only has 17 lines. After meeting with him,
Good
Cameron
idea.
felt the same way, and even
Good
sketched
idea.
Arnold as the cyborg.
And I looked at this painting and I said, I am the Terminator.
Together, they worked out how he would move as an
Shit.
efficient machine, no wasted energy.
Fuck it.
It was Arnold's idea to
Bro, honestly, like, I mean, I can't blame him for saying that. Like, who else you gonna put in that position at that time? I can't think of too many people. Like, I don't know. Like, he was already Conan. Oh, come on, like.
I am the Terminator.
Together, they worked
Sylvester
out how he would
Stallone,
move as an
maybe?
efficient machine with no wasted energy. It
I
was
don't think he
Arnold's
was.
idea to move his
I don't think Sylvester was even like big around at the time yet. Maybe he was. I wasn't there. I don't fucking know. But I don't know if that would have fit the same. Like, he really did fit. Like, with his sort of accent and stature, like the lack of words and his stature once again, like, makes it believable that he'd be a fucking AI. Like, it's just like, holy shit.
Efficient machine with no
Something wrong with this guy.
It was Arnold's idea to move his eyes first and let his head follow, making him look like a security
Smart.
camera. Casting Arnold got the movie greenlit and made financing easier, but they also had to wait 8 months to start shooting while he filmed Conan the Destroyer. The delay was rough on Cameron financially, but he made the most of it creatively. They spent the time storyboarding and shooting rough versions of the action scenes, while Stan Winston was able to perfect the prosthetics and puppets he wanted to use. Now armed to the teeth 800, the Terminator sets his sights on Sarah Connor, but he only has the white pages to track her down that he wishes ways had been invented by now. The low-tech listing aims his crosshairs on a poor random housewife.
Sarah Connor?
Yes.
No! He kicks open the door and you bang.
Should've lied.
Things are all to hell. Sorry, secondary Sarah. Our favorite Sarah Connor sees a news report about the incident at work.
Sarah Connor, 35, mother of 2, brutally shot to death.
That'd be
in her
so
home
weird.
You're dead, honey.
Well, this scene to me was so weird because, like, the idea of being somewhere with, like, your friends or coworkers and just on TV, your name randomly pops up, you die, and they make you see that shit. I would be kind of tripped out like she was. I'd be like, the fuck? Like, me? But I'm right here.
You're dead, honey.
This is actually a little confusing.
I'm
The Sarah
here.
Connor on the news here is not the Sarah Connor we just saw get killed. They're talking about Sarah Ann Connor, a third Sarah Connor from the phone book who
Oh, he
I guess
moves
was
fast.
murdered off screen. But since we never saw the character in video form, I won't be putting her on the count. While
Aw,
hot-wiring a
come
car,
on.
showing his familiarity with
Fair,
machines,
but come on.
Kyle sees construction vehicles that give him
It
a
was
robo
confirmed.
flashback, or I guess flash forward, Ben Foster style. We see his life in a world where Skelly's skulls were always getting crushed. Man, I hate Skellies, but I might have to call them allies in the war against machines. I mean, at least you used to be a human, you know? During a fight, Kyle's battle buddy is blown to pieces by a passing tank, adding her to the count.
Jesus.
Kyle escapes to a mad maxed out car, which he drives away
Fire.
full speed, giving his gunner a real rough time. Man, that guy's back is about to be fucked.
That man
wait,
ain't
his
shooting
life is
shit.
fucked, since that futuristic fighter jet turned him into a dead dummy. The nightmare attack sends Reese screaming back to the present. These scenes of a war-ravaged future were done by a team led by Gene Warren Jr. of Fantasy II VFX. Almost all of it was done using miniatures built on an 18-foot wide set atop a 3-foot
that's so
platform.
cool.
They used lots of awesome, simple tricks.
That's pretty cool.
including cardboard cutouts for ruined buildings, walnut dust for good-looking fireballs, handheld flashlights for
Walnut.
searchlights, and hiding the scale of it all with lots of smoke. Forced perspective was key, with larger stuff in the
Right.
foreground and tiny stuff in the background to make it feel much bigger. The hunter-killer robots were built from the ground up and radio controlled. And since time and budget were so strained, they sometimes had to shoot parts of them before the models were completely finished. The shots were then put behind human actors using both
Shit.
front and rear screen projection. Sarah goes back to her apartment, where she lives with her roommate Ginger
That's pretty
and
fire,
her pet
though.
Pugsley. Weird looking dog.
Straight got the whole set right in front of you.
Yeah! Sarah's getting ready in her sweet Jetson shirt for a night on the town, leaving the apartment to Ginger and her boy toy Matt. The guy's so considerate, he starts the foreplay before he even gets there.
First, I'm gonna rip the buttons off your blouse one by one.
Sarah hops on her scooter, not needing a helmet
this
more than her
guy.
hair, and drives off without realizing she's got a secret admirer in the form of Kyle Reese. The homonym homicides have caught the attention of 80s cops Traxler and Vukovich.
A one-day pattern killer. I hate the weird ones.
Vukovich is played by Lance Henriksen, a 5-time kill count veteran, which includes many appearances in the Alien franchise.
yeah.
Cameron had met Henriksen when he starred in Piranha 2, and originally envisioned him to play the Terminator. He even drew him as the character. Back then, the robot assassin was going to rely on infiltration, blending in with everyday people. That
I was gonna say, you would have to go for a different type of story. I couldn't see the way he moved, or the way he looks at least, be the way that he would move in the movie, that the way the movie moves now, you know what I mean?
changed with the casting of an Austrian bodybuilder, and the character instead became an indestructible tank. Henriksen would still get to play a robot for Cameron as Bishop in Aliens. The cops are unable to reach Sarah's apartment on the phone on account of all the headbanging and also, banging. They release a news statement about the Connor killer, which Sarah sees on the TV. She realizes she's probably in danger thanks to that damn phone book doxing her. She heads home, but notices Kyle following her, so she ducks inside a nightclub called Tech Noir. Man, she has to pay for admission just to use their phone? probably doesn't even have any cool games on it. The Terminator makes his way to Sarah's apartment, where Ginger's making herself a post-coital sandwich. That means Matt's all alone when the T-800 breaks
Classic.
in. And despite his awesome undies, he's no match for the machine.
His awesome undies.
To break every nearby piece of glass, while Ginger's none the wiser thanks to her Walkman.
They are very
He
obvious
gets her attention by
undies.
busting down her door with Matt's bloody body.
Those are
Ginger tries
attention
to
undies.
escape, but the idiot runs in slow motion, so Terminator's able to gun her down. He finishes her off
Impressive.
with 5 more shots.
Yet
Terminator
stupid.
don't fuck around. Sarah calls to leave note for Ginger, and the answering machine betrays her to its cousin from the future.
I'm at this place on Pico Boulevard called Tech Noir.
Though Tech Noir isn't real, Pico Boulevard is a well-known street in LA. The entire movie was set and is filmed in sunny Los Angeles. Not that you'll see
Right.
much sun. It was shot over 10 weeks, most of which were night shoots. I love how it captures that early
10
80s
weeks.
urban grind. The Terminator gets to the club in record time and gains
70
admittance by
days.
paying the iron price with his iron grip. He's ready to cap
No
the
way.
last Connor, but Reese is near.
Yeah, 70 days.
Bye.
I just like blanked on how many days are in a week.
It's a shotgun to good use.
My head
Pumps 5
hurts.
rounds into the Terminator, which puts him down for all of 2 seconds. The cyborg retaliates, missing Reese, but catching one club goer in the crossfire. Sorry, dude. The T-800 sprays at Sarah next, killing 2 more club patrons in the process. I mean, they're either dead or crying in the club. Sarah gets tripped up in the body blockade, but Reese comes to the
Crying
rescue
in the
again.
club.
Come with me if you want to live.
They have an intense foot chase through a back alley, during which a fiery explosion fails to slow the running man down. The Terminator punches through Reese's windshield, but they manage to shake him off thanks to Reese's expert maneuvering. Sarah sure could learn a lot from this guy.
Do exactly what I say.
Oh, great, and he's a willing teacher, too. Stuntman Frank Orsatti doubled Arnold for that scene, jumping onto the hood of a car while on fire. I'm not sure if he had it better or worse than Michael Bihn's stunt double, who had to fall 5 feet onto concrete while naked.
fuck.
Arnold did do some stunts himself.
Brother,
being on top of a
his
moving car
head,
while
man.
strapped
Hold
while
on.
naked. Or worse than Michael Bihn's stunt double, who had to fall 5 feet onto concrete while
Ugh.
naked. Arnold did do some stunts himself.
That's pretty
like
bad.
being on top of a moving car while strapped to its hood.
That is
For his
pretty
close-ups,
fucking
they
bad.
drove a fake brick wall past a stationary car to make it seem like it was moving. That allowed them to use this fake fist attached to a pneumatic arm to punch through an actual windshield. Schwarzenegger said the worst part of the shoot was the mild acid they poured on him in order
Acid?
to make him smoke. The Terminator hijacks a squad car from a cop and calls for backup using the Scream 3 voice changer.
This is 1L19.
Reese still manages to shake off all the fuzz by pulling off an expert BattleBot maneuver. He and Sarah
Right.
hide in a nearby parking garage. so
Gotta
he
do
can
what you
double
gotta
some
do, I guess.
exposition on her. He tells her she's been targeted for termination by a future hitman called a T-800, or the Terminator. It was created by Skynet, a security system that gained sentience and nearly destroyed humanity by launching a bunch of nukes. While the T-800's brains and bones are metal, he's bundled up in actual flesh and hair, allowing him to blend in with humans.
Sweat,
Right.
bad breath, everything. Very hard to spot.
Man, why they
This
gotta
tech
get
isn't
bad
available
breath?
now, but it will be in 40 years, meaning, wait, 2024? I mean, we're not quite there yet, but seems like we're on the way, doesn't it? Scary. This cyborg assassin is relentless and will stop at nothing to kill Sarah.
It can't be bargained with. It can't be reasoned with. It doesn't feel pity or remorse or fear.
The reason he's been sent here is because, despite what those flash forwards looked like, apparently humans were on the verge of winning the war, thanks to their fearless leader, John Connor.
Your son, Sarah.
No, this is wild.
Born son.
If the Terminator can kill Sarah now, the son will never.
Watching this reminds me how their relationship ends up, and to me, the way that works is just wild. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's just it's fucking wild.
Have their doors Washington. Reese
fucking
and Sarah
crazy.
commandeer another vehicle, but not before the Terminator finds them, kicking off another car chase. This
Okay.
time Sarah drives, while Reese rides shotgun. The T-800 crashes just as the police catch up with them. The humans are taken into custody, while their mechanical adversary says an Irish goodbye. At the police station, Reese is questioned by a sleazy psychologist named Dr. Silberman. Reese says his time-traveling device has been destroyed, meaning he and the Terminator are stranded in time.
Nobody goes home. Nobody else comes through.
Good. So they think he's crazy.
It's just him
Solid.
and me.
Reese is dismissed as a schizophrenic, and the Terminator's strength and invulnerability are chalked up to bulletproof vests and PCP. Even if he's
PCP
unstoppable, the Terminator's
and
still
bulletproof
looking pretty great.
vest.
He finds a hidey hole to perform some auto repairs, pulling out his pupil with an
This
X-Acto knife.
scene
Oh,
is
I defy
crazy.
anyone to watch this scene and tell me this thing ain't a horror movie. Look at
This fucking scene is crazy. I thought this whole scene was in part 2. Like, I love this scene so much. I thought it was just part of the second movie. This scene, and I think the chase. There's a chase that comes up pretty soon that I thought. Oh, and the moment where he goes and talking to the guy at the window. I thought those were in part 2 because I love those moments so much. Literally everything else I forgot about. Like the mom and John Connor's friend from the future who has John Connor. Like, I forgot all about that shit. And yeah, these things stayed forever though. Fucking
This
crazy.
scene and tell me this thing ain't a horror.
Fucking
movie. Look
wild.
At his metal tendon, his freaky robot eye. Horrific, a lot of it.
Cool.
He winds up looking like a Disneyland animatronic with some dated effects, so it's a good thing he puts on some
Still cool.
sunglasses. Or should I say sexy specs, since it turns him back into Arnold. The idea to use both a puppet and a prosthetic on Arnold's face came from Stan Winston, who led the team that did the effects for the Terminator character. He had already been nominated for an Oscar for Heartbeeps and worked with Rob Bottin on The Thing, but the Terminator brought Winston a new level of fame, and he'd go on to win multiple Oscars for effects work, including on more Cameron films like Aliens and T2 Judgment Day, and of course Jurassic Park, where he brought the dinosaurs to life.
What a resume! What a fucking resume! Jesus.
Face for close-ups of the eye during operation. They also, pretty obviously, used a puppet version that I'm sure looked great at the time, but I'm glad they restricted its use to this scene and some shots later on when he's driving a truck. The prosthetic piece on Arnold looks much better. The Terminator arms up and makes his way to the police station, which we're told is full of future victims.
We got 30 cops in this building.
They did the count.
Dr. Silberman narrowly avoids getting added to the count, unlike this desk jockey who tells the
I'll
Terminator
be back.
"Ram."
I'll be back.
Oh,
Back he be when he
classic.
drives his car through the wall and crushes the dummy who was once a cop. The Terminator embarks on a full precinct assault, mowing down 7 officers in the hallways and at their desks. Wow, Terminator's a mad hacksaw. He's using unlimited ammo and shooting through the walls. What the fuck? He stops momentarily
cool.
to take out the station's power, a disruption that gives Reese a chance to escape. The shootout continues and sees 3 more cops get added to the count. Terminator's KD is insane. Sarah stays safely tucked away as the mean machine keeps on trucking.
Man, gonna get the
passing
chopper
2
gunner.
bodies on the floor we haven't
Chopper
seen
gunner the
before,
nuke.
dropping a 3rd
Inbound.
as well. Traxler is injured by a stray shot, and when Vukovic tries to help, the Terminator kills both of them just off screen. Reese catches up with Sarah and helps her escape the hellscape of the station,
Man's already got the
passing
nuke.
by another dead body as they do.
Already got the nuke,
Terminator's
man.
doing
It's
a
just
great
a matter
job
of
killing,
time.
but how has he not found them yet? You walking in circles or something, my man? The humans hijack a cop car,
True.
narrowly avoiding T-Man on their way out. A
The
faded
weird
black
set.
empties their gas tank, and the 2 take refuge beneath an overpass. Reese got shot and is nonchalant about it, but Sarah takes it as an opportunity to get him naked.
Take this off.
Just kidding. She ain't in the mood yet. She's had enough action movie shenanigans and is ready to throw in the towel. Reese rallies her by saying her future son is super cool.
I'd die for John Connor.
Wow, dude, simp much? Reese tells her about the future and how humans all live in junkyard land. It's easy to get killed out there, so they gather underground, where they're not as foddery, but things still ain't fun. Everyone's coughing, eating slop, and watching the only channel they've got, the Yule Log one. The only thing that kept Reese's pieces together was a photo of the woman who trained their leader, Sarah Connor. He says that when they figured out how to kill those big tanks called HKs, or hunter killers, the machines created Terminators to infiltrate their ranks. We watch one sneaky machine enter their hideout and lay waste to all the humans it sees. Hard to tell with all the flashing and cutting going on, but I think 8 refugees and soldiers get zapped to death here. This other Terminator was played by bodybuilder Franco Columbu, who became close friends with Arnold after a competition in Germany in 1965.
Big
Columbu
boy.
was Schwarzenegger's best man and godfather to his daughter, and the 2 remained close friends and workout buddies
Right
until his
on,
death in
man.
2019.
Damn.
Reese sets them up in a motel with strict instructions for Sarah to stay focused.
R.I.P.,
She
man.
can't resist calling her mom, though, who asks Sarah where she is. Foolishly, Sarah tells her, and we see that she was talking to the Terminator, doing another spot-on voice impression. It's implied that he killed her actual mom, but we don't see a body and we never met her, so I can't put her on the count. Reese and Sarah prep for their final battle with a
How's
build-a-bomb
Wolfie?
workshop. This movie's had plenty of action, sci-fi, and horror, but now it adds another genre, romance.
I came across time for you, Sarah.
Between that line and that hunky bod, Reese gets himself a piece in a super sexy sex scene, scored to a piano version of the main theme. Whole lot of hand clutching and boob cupping going on here. Whole lot of boob cupping, wow. Honk honk. Between the love story and Sarah Connor as a strong but relatable character, the Terminator's success was driven in part by an unexpectedly large female audience.
Oh my God.
That scene
we
is like,
have
man,
as
I don't
many
know.
women seeing the movie as men.
Cameron wrote a strong female protagonist because he was inspired by Ripley in Alien.
It also sort of
Fair.
fit with my view of the
Fire.
female half of the species in general.
Despite the technical wording there, Cameron legit loves strong ladies. His list of
Yeah, the way he said that was kind of funny.
because he was inspired by
What the
Ripley in
fuck?
Alien.
It also sort of fit with my view of the female half of the species in general.
Despite the technical wording there, Cameron legit loves strong
Right.
ladies. His
Right
list
on.
of ex-wives is a testament to that. Dude was married to his all-star producer Galan Hurd, the first woman to win a
Producer!
directing Oscar.
Man married his producer and another director for Hurt Locker, okay?
For Bigelow, and Sarah Connor herself, Linda Hamilton. His current wife, Susie Amos, seems cool too. She was Rose's granddaughter in Titanic. Oh, Cameron, that was the sponsor. God damn it, Penn. Sarah and Reese's pillow talk is cut short by the T-Hater 100. They give him the slip and
Shame.
take off in their third stolen car of the week, setting off yet another chase scene.
Would've
The
been
only
good
reason this
setup.
movie gets away with so many of these things is because they all include at least one awesome moment. Or a couple.
True.
Or several. Like when
True, yeah, this is the one. This is the scene that I remembered. This is the fucking one. This is the one that I thought was in the second one, because this shit is fire. This shit is crazy. Like,
debike the T-Man here and give him a nasty cyborg spin.
I like it.
Then he gets run over by like 36 tires. Jesus Christ. The trucker gets out to check what he just killed, but the answer is nothing. The Terminator is still alive enough to maybe kill the trucker with his bare hands. Not sure about this one, but I'll count it. Then he scares off the guy riding passenger with a polite request.
Get out.
The T-800 commandeers the vehicle and tries to shift into
No,
maximum
please.
overdrive. As Sarah runs, Reese slips the Big T an exhaust pipe bomb and takes cover in a dumpster.
Big
Good
T?
thing he does, because when it goes off, we get an absolutely massive explosion. There's fire everywhere. It's raining straight napalm. Cameron wanted to blow up a full-size tanker for this scene, but couldn't because they filmed next to the LAPD armory. Instead, both the truck and the alley were rebuilt at 1/6
Right.
scale in a studio in Burbank. This is one of the movie's most impressive effects to me.
That's
I never
fucking
noticed
crazy.
this truck wasn't the real deal. The Big Bang itself was achieved with 42 separate explosions detonated by pyrotechnician Joe Viscasil. A faulty front axle actually ruined their first take, and it took them 2 days to make another model to blow up.
Worth it.
The Terminator tries to stop, drop,
Worth.
and roll, but the heat is
Damn.
too much for him to take.
I watched, like I was saying, I watched this like a week ago. And I like to guess sometimes when shots are like real or not real. I would never have fucking guessed that this is not real. This is fucking impressive. Like, this is crazy.
Most impressive effects to me. I never noticed this truck wasn't the real deal.
That
The
is
Big Bang
wild.
itself was achieved with 42 separate explosions detonated by pyrotechnician Joe Viscasil. A faulty front axle actually ruined their first take, and it took them 2 days to make another model to blow up. The Terminator tries to stop, drop, and roll, but the heat is too much for him to take. Hope y'all enjoyed watching Arnold, because that part of the movie is over. This fire cleanses the
Cap.
Schwartz right off that thing. Of
Stop the
course,
cap.
that doesn't mean it's
Bring
dead.
it back.
We did it, Kyle.
You friggin' dummies. Terminator's got a sinister urge. He's like Rob Zombie. He's never gonna stop. The humans flee to a nearby building, which appropriately enough is a robotics factory. Man, y'all know I love practical effects, but I'll be the first to say some of the shit looks dated. Like, it's charming, but
Yeah.
it's dated. Still, it's
Yeah.
impressive how much they did to bring the T-800 endoskeleton
Cool
to
as
life.
fuck, though,
Cameron
yeah.
originally wanted to use stop motion only, but Stan Winston pushed to make full-sized animatronics
Smart.
and puppets. The full-bodied
Smart.
hero model was 6'2" and weighed 200 pounds. It was made up of over 1,000 chrome-plated parts, took almost a year to build, and required
That's
5
massive.
people to operate. Other versions included a quarter-scale miniature
Jeez.
for the stop-motion
Worth it,
shots,
though.
and a backpack version that was worn by puppeteer Shane Mayhem. They used that version to simulate the Terminator walking with a limp. They also made individual body parts for close-ups. As the Terminator gets distracted by other machines, Sarah finds her inner commando.
Move it, Reese! On your feet, soldier!
Just in time, since the killer robot corners them on a catwalk. Yeah, the catwalk. Reese is beaten down, but sticks a pipe bomb where it hurts and blows the T-800 to smithereens. Unfortunately, it comes at the cost of his life. And Reese dies from his
Oh.
injuries. Womp womp. Before she has a chance to mourn, Sarah's jump scared by a metal arm. This Energizer executioner just keeps going and going. The image of a half-skeleton robot crawling relentlessly after
Spooky.
a woman was the first thing Cameron dreamt up for the movie while he was sick in Rome during post-production on Piranha 2. The terminating torso chases Sarah onto the factory line and underneath a hydraulic press. It nearly nabs her, but she defeats him with 2 of his own tricks, machinery and a one-liner.
You're a terminated fucker.
The press pulverizes the Metal Man, finally putting an end to his pursuit. And whatever, I'll put the Terminator on the count. He's humanoid like the androids I counted in the Alien series. Plus, he has living tissue and is the titular character. Don't at me, okay? In the film
allow it.
catalog, a more heavily armed
That makes up for the Sarah, TV thing. I think so. That's fair.
Sarah takes to the open road, now pregnant with John Connor. She records her son a tape about Reese, who, in a maybe predictable time travel twist, is revealed to be his father. Wow, that guy was one and done, huh? Sarah stops for gas, where a boy takes the picture that will become
That shit is crazy to me.
The movie ends with Sarah.
I can't believe that.
She drives off into the
man.
apocalypse. How many people met their manufacturers at the hands of this metal menace? Let's find out and get to the numbers.
Bro spent like an hour
What's the fastest
glazing.
way to get there?
Bro spent an hour glazing her son just to do that. It was crazy to me. I still don't get it.
Oh my god! Sorry, this is embarrassing. We counted 40 kills in the Terminator, which included 4 female victims, 35 male victims, and 1 Terminator covered in living male tissue. That gives us this pie net chart. And
Brother's fit though. I mean, since he looked, I looked, and his brother's fit though.
Gives us a kilogami, since the only other time we counted 40 kills was with Killer Clowns, which had a different gender.
Ooh! Killer Clowns, bitch! Fuck, man. I just picked up a Steelbook 4K of that. I'm fucking hyped to see that. I want to watch it, brother. Holy moly.
The other time we counted 40 kills was with Killer Clowns, which had a different gender breakdown. With a runtime of 107 minutes, Terminator had a kill on average every 2.68 minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to the Terminator himself.
True.
Not that often you get a death that lasts so long it spans several DVD chapters. It's like this guy in Chucky, unstoppable killing machines. No machete for lamest kill will go to Traxler and Buka.
Hey.
It feels weird to kill these guys
Chucky.
off screen, especially when one of them's Lance Henriksen. And that's it. The Terminator.
Man, talking about Chucky, he talking about, I didn't even hear what he said about here. Who got Silva? Oh, just some random dude.
Especially when one of them's Lance Henriksen. And that's
Yeah.
it. The Terminator came out in 1984 and beat critical and box office expectations. It became even more popular in the years that followed as people watched it on TV and home video.
True.
It's funny that every year that went by that we didn't make the sequel, the demand for the sequel got greater.
That sequel would come in 1991, the more action-heavy Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Fucking
but
fire.
I don't currently have plans to cover that on the I do have something special for you on Sunday, though. But until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been the Kill Count.
I think technically, which is what Kill Count is technically all about, is like if you want to get technical about movies, like the creative side, and which one is more interesting to see, it would definitely have to be this one. But if you're talking screenplay-wise, action-wise, fucking almost damn near everything, like the music, I feel like maybe was mastered and mixed better. It might just be copium. But like, brother, number 2 is a whole nother animal in my opinion. One of my favorite movies of all time, honestly. Like, holy shit, fucking crazy. I can't get over that to this day. The CGI, maybe not the hottest these days, especially on the 4K version. Shame too. I bought that 4K version a long time ago, before I even like really understood 4K HDR or whatever. And now seeing it versus like some of the other stuff, it's like kind of rough. I don't hate it as much as everybody else, but it is rough. It's pretty rough. One of my favorite movies though. It's fucking hard. I need to watch Killer Clowns. I need to get that Steelbook out. Him talking about that got me hype. Hype. Oh, what's the ending? Hold up.
Hey, everybody.
What was this? Is something at the end?
Kill Count. Mother's Day, a time to honor the woman who kept us fed.
Mother's Day.
Gentlemen, the perfect meatloaf.
Who loved
I
us
saw Shaggy.
unconditionally,
I'm your mother. And
Matthew Lillard.
who made sure that anyone who ever hurt us got exactly what they deserved. Spend the day with her, doing something she'll love.
Well, could we watch that scene again? You know the one where he rips her heart out? Please?
Just make sure not to throw out
Alright,
any
Mom, chill.
wild accusations
Chill.
while you're at it.
Are you a serial killer? Chip, the only cereal I know anything about is rice.
Leave her alone.
Serial Mom is a dark comedy slasher by John
Leave her
Roberts.
alone,
You
man.
know it's gonna be gross and pervy.
Pussy, that's what she said to me.
Pussy Willow.
Oh, hey, it's Andy from Child's Play 3. Oh, wait, Andy, what are you doing? Andy, no! This movie seriously rocks, though, largely thanks to the woman playing the hell out of the titular role.
Suzanne Summers?
Looks like a
Kathleen
good
Turner.
cast.
Come on, is there anyone better than her?
Good looking cast.
She's the coolest.
Enough with the Three's Company love.
Amen to that.
This week, watch a movie that dares to ask, what if Matthew Lillard played Randy Meeks?
Who's going to be next victim?
On Sunday, Mother's
What
Day,
the
look
fuck?
out for the kill count. Only on Dead Meat.
That looks fire. I might watch that. Just buy it myself. That looks fire.
Tomorrow, I love you. Tomorrow.
It's only Sunday away.
Serial Mob can currently be watched on the pictured
Jesus.
streaming platforms. Denny always recommends you watch the movie for yourself before its kill count.
True. I'd recommend that too. But you gotta buy it from YouTube? It ain't on like Netflix or something? Shit. Shame. Well, I got all these streaming platforms and then you got that movie. Like, come on, man. What the hell?